Marathon. What can I say? Actually, let's start with this. I have a disclaimer. I'm going to try my best to keep this as a personal opinion, also highlight all the good and bad things that came from Server Slam. I do know that this is a preview of the full game, and I can only formulate reviews on what we got available during the Server Slam. Okay, we're good? Good? All right, let's get into it. This is a new game, a new IP by Bungie called Marathon. Marathon is basically an extraction shooter with a lot of their variables that they've brought before on many other games like Halo, Destiny, and Bungie has this like style and flavor that they like to bring to those type of games, right?
Ya lo tiene escudo violeta. Yeah.
Uy, nene. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh.
What the fuck?
Ese tipo entró endiablado.
¡Ay, por detrás!
Vamos a morir.
¡Esa puñeta!
The game has pretty deep lore if you really look into it, and its incredible art style is impeccable. I love it. I'm a huge fan of futuristic sci-fi, very much brutalist style, and it's amazing. Like, I love it. The art style was one of the things that left me in awe, but we're gonna save that for the good. So I played Marathon for about an hour 50-ish minutes on stream a couple of days ago on the day of Server Slam release. It's from Bungie, so you kind of have that legacy studio feel of like, all right, they made Halo, they made Destiny. I know some of you are really hurt. Let's bring it back. We're not in Destiny anymore. Okay, I know a lot of you guys have thousands of hours, and I know how Bungie treated that game unfair. I feel you. I'm so sorry. So Marathon is coming in as an extraction shooter that we've now seen that has taken over popularity, specifically in the FPS genre. We know that before, a couple of years back, it was battle royales, and now it's, you know, extraction shooters like Arc Raiders, any other extraction shooter that they've made before that or into the process. Everything is now an extraction shooter. Why? Everybody likes them. It is what it is. So a lot of things that came to mind was when as I was playing, I felt nostalgia from Halo, from Destiny, when I used to be a huge player into that. This basically is the new hype of FPS, you know, in the sub-genre. Extraction shooters are kind of taking over. We've seen it with, you know, Arc Raiders. We've seen it with Tarkov. All right, now with all of that said, I kind of want to jump into the good, the bad, the ugly, and then give you some final thoughts on it with a little bit of clips of what I played and what I saw in the game and what I liked, what I didn't like. Again, let me reframe that this is a personal opinion, very loose from what the actual game is going to be, because this is pretty much like a work in progress that this studio is doing. And I mean, it's really close, the Server Slam from the actual release, so I'm like kind of confused as to why the Server Slam was released so close to the release date, but that's something for another, you know, conversation. So let's jump into the good. All right, so the good. The art style of this game is incredible. Hyper-futuristic, cyber-brutalist style is very eye-catching. It makes you want to explore the map and locations a little bit deeper, a little bit more. It kind of gives you how much detail they put into the world-building aspect of this game, which is honestly fantastic. As I was streaming the game, I would kind of get lost at looking at like the art style and everything. You're going to hear me say that a couple of times as I was streaming it.
Y pues, Bungie is like a great studio, but everybody wants to do extraction shooters now, so. But the art style, man, I have to admit, this art style, amazing. I love it. Se ve brutal.
Search the area for repair supplies.
I was like, wow, the art style is like super nice. I like how this feels and how it looks and how it just gives out that appeal of cyber futuristic brutalist style that I just totally love. The lore, it's kind of slow at the start. You kind of get in there, you kind of get dropped in, you don't know what's going on, but as you develop and as you keep going into it, you can kind of see the deep roots of the game and the lore with the factions and all that good stuff. Its lore is entangled with a lot of micro details. You're gonna see a lot of little details in there that explain the game as you progress, and also it's gonna kind of explain the settings, as in like, why are we here, what's the objective, why are we doing this. It's not a simple like drop in extraction shooter, we go in, go out, blah blah blah. It has a little bit more story to it, because it's kind of like Bungie's idea of world building and storytelling, which is kind of like, we're gonna give you some very, very good lore and you're just gonna find out as you go, which is Bungie stuff, right? The weapons are interesting, super eye-catching, different mods, expansions to each one, makes the combat truly personalized for the player. If you want to run a gun with specific loadout, you can do that to your heart's content. There's so many things that you can do, And I still feel that they're kind of limited because of the release that they did, but as the game progresses, I hope that they bring out more things into the game that kind of make you personalize it even more. Oh, derechazo. Loco. Es un tipo.
¿Qué?
Yo creo que este es un tipo. The factions are also incredible. I was very much taken aback with each of the factions. I didn't have enough time to go through all of them, but I did see videos and explanations of the factions, and it gives you just like a deep understanding of like, okay, this game has story, there's rivalry, there's something going on here that you can kind of want to get into. The explanation of each faction is pretty cool. You kind of understand. It gives that sense of ownership to the player, you know, like they have an idea of like, oh, this is my crew, this is my group, this is where I belong, etc., which is really good because you kind of break it down for people and they're like, oh, well, I actually like this faction, I like the other one. You kind of saw that when Burnt Peanut did the whole Bungulator thing where people were incredibly looking into building factions with each other. You're definitely going to see some of that in Marathon when it releases. I hope that it's not so crazy, but we'll definitely see when it does do the full release how that goes. All right, let's jump into the bad. The bad. I know the game is still in development and that what we got was like a pre-release of what they're actually going to do, but the server slam being so close to the actual release kind of puts me in a bit of a tough spot to think, man, are they actually going to fix all the things that players are complaining about, the reviews that they're getting, the feedback? Because at this time, you're going to see that it kind of feels like for what they released, it needs a lot of polishing. It needs a lot of work, especially in movement and other things that I'm going to get into now as we keep talking about the bad. So, as I mentioned before, the movement feels clunky at best. It's a slow set, feels like you're trapped inside the character. It's kind of very slow, like you're kind of chained up a little bit, and movement is uncomfortable, you know, with a little bit, it's taking an uncomfortable movement direction. Hopefully, the devs will fix this or give it a little bit of a tune-up before release, but we'll see. Especially because the movement, if it's fluid, it's going to make it more easier for players to actually adapt and take time to actually think like, okay, this game makes me feel like I can move around and it's not like I'm constricted to a very clunky movement style. The combat, it feels good, but it feels like it's missing something. Art-wise, they did great, but everything else is like they need a little bit of patchwork. But we'll see when we get into multiplayer to see. That's the real test. I know that it's very reminiscent of Destiny early days, and you're gonna get that like close, you know, POV FPS style, but at the same time, it just feels like we're missing something to give it that extra taste. I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels like it's undone. It feels like it's still like a huge work in progress. And I know that a lot of people love that because Bungie is pretty much like, that's their whole bread and butter is FPS and shooter style. That's their whole thing. So I'm kind of surprised that they kind of didn't polish it before launching. I was hoping a little bit more of a polish was going to come through, but we'll see. Again, server slam from release date, it's really, really close. So we'll see how much the devs can fix and how much they can actually get to before they actually go out into the, you know, release plate. All right, let's get into the ugly. Oh, okay, so the ugly. The game startup is hell of annoying. It took me a good 45 minutes to get the game in a good spot to play, to feel stable, to actually move in the game, like in the menus. The bug that it had that you couldn't use your mouse and keyboard and you had to use a controller, and the controller moving at a glacier pace was insanity for me. I was like, please let me just load the game. It's because I'm using my controller because I can't use my mouse. Like I cannot use the mouse in this game. It's a bug. I had to close the game probably like 4 times to get it to work, and that's before I even tried to stream it. After I tried to stream it, it was smooth on screen, but it had its moments where spikes were inevitable. Obviously, again, I know that we're not getting a full polished version of this. I'm not trying to judge it as a full release game, but my whole counterpart to that is their release is in a couple of days, and I hope that they have enough time to fix all of this. The amount of items that they have with little explanation kind of makes you feel overwhelmed because you don't know what does what, running without your head attached to your body because you just don't know what to put where unless you sit down and read every little detail to make sure that you have the most optimal loadout or the best for your playstyle. It's overwhelming for someone that just kind of wants to come in, play, get a couple of games in and go. So for casual players, it's going to be a little bit more of a steep learning curve, which has its upside because I know some people like a little bit of a challenge, but I know that there's other people that just want to sit on the game for a bit, release some tension, and then move on with their day, not learn a whole new system just because of a game that came out to enjoy it a little bit. The menus. Oh my god, the menus are very confusing. And again, when you have that bug that you can only use a controller, it makes it so uncomfortable to run through the game and actually set up the game how you want it. The contracts are okay. You kind of understand that you have to do contracts to receive rewards and, you know, upgrades and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. But again, it's just the menus to get there is confusing. I think they need to simplify it a little more. But again, I feel that this is all just testing and that they're actually going to peel back on every review and say like, okay, we saw the feedback from the players. Hopefully Bungie is listening and they will fix the game or fix what needs to be fixed before launch. So the last thing that I'll say is something that I've been looking into it is that the public sentiment for this game is super divided. I went to everywhere from comment sections on different social media posts to X posts to Reddit forums, and people are kind of divided across the board. Majority of them are saying, I wouldn't buy this game. I think it's terrible. Other people are praising Bungie because they did a great job. Like they finally revolutionized the FPS extraction shooter situation. So it's kind of very much divided, and I've never seen a game come out with such a divided review mix that it's kind of concerning. If I was on the dev team or the sales team for the game, I'd be a little confused and a little bit worried because of how public perception is right now of the game. And again, I know every new game catches flack from time to time. It happens. It's gonna happen. No matter what new game is, not everybody's gonna like the same game. So I know for a fact that there is certain things that you can look at and say, okay, this game is new. I'm not feeling it. I'm just more of like, can we actually play this? Can I do this? Can I do that? And again, the sentiment on social media has been super divided, as in incredibly divided. You'll have people on the camp of I love this game, and you have people on the camp of I played 6 hours, this game's trash, not buying it, I actually asked for a refund, etc. Like I've seen those comments and I'm just like, whoa. So not a great start, I guess, but it could have a lot of time of redemption and the game can be a great success down the line. The price point is $40, and I think in my opinion, it's not really worth the money if left as it is, you know? We've seen the massive success behind Arc Raiders, and I think all these other studios are kind of are hungry for that success again. And they're really looking to kind of emulate everything that Arc Raiders did, from the price point to the game style to the pacing of the game, everything. They're looking to just replicate to get that same success, but Arc Raiders is a beast of its own. Its community is incredibly like together. The media coverage that it has is insane. So you're gonna have a lot of things against it at the start. So it's kind of like a huge upriver swim for them, and it's going to be very much difficult if they don't listen to the people that give them feedback. So the $40 price point, if all the issues that have been, you know, mentioned are fixed and accounted for, then yeah, it'd be a great price point. And I've also seen another refreshing take on social media that people are saying, oh, I have 2 cakes. Like I have this game and I also have this game. Wonderful. 2 cakes for me. Yay me. Which is very refreshing because normally you see people say, I hate this game, and they'll stay in one camp and they'll never do that. But then seeing people so neutral in the middle sometimes is great as well. So to finalize, the server slam was great for some people, terrible for others. Again, in my opinion, this game has a lot of potential if treated right. And I know Destiny players have seen how Bungie treated the game before and are hoping that it doesn't mean the same thing for Marathon if they are enjoying it as it releases. Again, the game will release March 5th, 2026, and I think that between time, again, I think I've said this like 50 times during this video, but between the time of server slam and release, it's just too short of a time period, in my opinion, for them to make any massive fix that needs to be done before the game releases. But I know that it'll have its people to play. It'll have its audience. I don't think it's going to be the next huge extraction shooter. It might have its potential and it might have a great run, and it might need a lot of help with probably DLCs, but we know how that works with Bungie and Destiny. We've seen that before. And a lot of people are praying, please God, don't make this the same process as before. But I myself will not be buying this game at release. I always do this with all of these games that I'm kind of on the fence about, and we'll see how it progresses down the line. And if it gets better, and if I see that I will enjoy it just by viewing it, and then I can actually jump into it and play it, then maybe down the line, couple months, I might purchase, play, make some content out of it. If not, I'm just gonna leave it as is and let people play and enjoy, because I myself am not one to say, hey, I don't like this game, don't buy it. I'm like, this is my opinion. If I don't like it, you don't have to follow me about it. If you like the game, you can most definitely buy it, enjoy it, play it, do whatever you want with it, because it's a good game. It's gonna be a good game with the developers. For a fact that if you want to buy it, go ahead. My opinion, I'm not gonna buy it because I know for a fact that this game needs a lot of work, and we'll definitely see where that goes. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the time that you give me. If you ever want to, I normally am streaming every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays on Twitch. Link's gonna be in the bottom or somewhere around the screen. We just hang out. There is a lot of Spanish there. I am Puerto Rican, so I will speak a lot of English and Spanish, so I let you know up till now that that's how it is. But again, I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. If you like this video, make sure to leave a comment down the bottom. You can like or subscribe, whatever you feel like doing. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.